Hi everybody, Andrew Cuneo here. I'm starting to practice for the upcoming Arena Open, which is Lord of the Rings Limited. Day one, I believe, will be sealed deck, so I want to practice sealed deck a little bit. Day two is draft, which is the more important day, but it is nice to hopefully have a pain-free experience getting through day one. And also you get to, see the cards in action, just learn how the limited format plays in general. What kind of rares we got? 2 copies of There and Back Again. I have no idea what that does, so I'm going to learn that one. Display of Power, I think is pretty bad. It's probably not like you can never ever play it, but the overwhelming majority of the time, I think you're not going to put that in your deck. What's this do? Make it so something can't block. Then you get a mountain and put it on the battlefield. Then you get a red dragon. So this would be like, I guess for an aggressive deck. I mean, 5 mana is a lot for this. You get a 6/6, but it's super delayed. This card doesn't seem great. Mary, which obviously would go in an aggressive deck, and the Balrog, which also goes in a fairly aggressive deck. And then Delighted Halfling is certainly a good card, but it doesn't go with any of my other stuff, so we'll have to see what the rest of the pool is. What's the best way to do this? I guess this. 3 copies of Errand of Gondor. That's a pretty big deal. And Rosie Cotton of South Lane. This isn't an insane card on its own. But it is pretty good, and it allows my Errand of Gondors to be turned on. Same with Bill the Pony. What does this one do? Like slow reanimation, and you make something indestructible. I don't understand why these sagas are like not very exciting. I don't know. Maybe it's an attempt to kind of like even out the quality of all 3 chapters, but none of that seems exciting. I know they keep printing 5 mana, you get a creature back from your graveyard onto the battlefield, and that just isn't a good card. Like, they need to attach a bunch of stuff to it, and I don't think this is enough stuff. You have Elrond with 3 Nimrodel Watchers. That's kind of something. This one actually seems okay to me, the Bath Song. Draw 2 cards and discard a card twice is a lot of card selection and a little bit of card advantage. And then the 3rd chapter is kind of whatever. 2 copies of Saruman the White. That's a playable-ish card. 2 Claim the Preciouses and a Lash of the Balrog. And 1 Dinlan Crabane. Those are some pretty good commons. And this guy's pretty good too. You get a 3/3 and a 1/1 Death Touch. Although a Mass 1 is kind of a little bit worse than getting a 1/1, I would say. And we have a Mirkwood Bats and a Snarling Warg. What's this thing do? +1/+0, first strike. I'm not sure how I feel about Cast into Fire as a main deck card. It doesn't look like it would be a good main deck card, but there are a bunch of 1 toughness things, so sometimes that works out. And sometimes people do play artifacts in this format. I think it's fringe playable, at least in draft. Gimli's Axe. No. Way too expensive. This guy's powerful. This guy is not that exciting. So what do we have in green? We have Delighted Halfling. Let's do the Connies is an okay card. 2 Generous Hints. Doesn't really seem like all that much. Actually, I have some good gold cards. Old Man Willow's good. Balrog's pretty good. Gandalf's Sanction can be good. A bit more in draft where you can really warp your whole deck around it. Bilbo's pretty good too. This guy is not that good. I mean, it is a 2-mana 2/2, which is that's fine, but isn't that exciting. So I've got Mary. I think the Grey Havens is going to be my most tilting card in this set because people seem to be willing to put it in their deck, and I'm not a fan of playing colorless mana sources in Limited. Your mana's already bad. You don't need to make it extra bad by putting colorless lands in your deck. So what are my options? I can try to maximize these Errand Rider of Gondors, or I can try to build around these black cards. So I could look at like aggressive white-red. Could be good. Or black. Would black-white work? Do I have enough legends if I go black-white? Bearing in mind that if you tempt the ring, you turn something into a legend. So that would work with my Errand of Gondors as well. But I'm getting 1 natural legend. This guy kind of counts as a legend, because if you cast him, you're going to have a legend, probably. Like, unless your opponent kills whatever creature you make your ring bearer, you're going to have a legend. So how many white cards are there that I'd be happy to play in an aggressive white deck? We're going to use a generous definition of happy. I don't know, even with a generous definition of happy, am I happy to play the Took Reaper? So it gets me to 8. This card, I guess, is fine. 9. Maybe one of those. I really do not like playing equipment. I guess Swarming of Moria does work with Rosie pretty well. Does this only trigger once a turn? No. So if you have a Rosie in play and you play Swarming of Moria, you're probably going to get 2+1/+1 counters out of the deal. That's kind of cool. And then I've got this thing, which really doesn't seem that good to me. I'm not loving the looks of this deck. Doesn't have very good interaction. I have a Fog on the Barrow Downs, and I could play this Breaking of the Fellowship card, which if you're desperate for any card that could kill any creature, it's fine, but if you actually care about what creature you want to kill, this is almost never going to work. Its most likely case is you kill your opponent's second best creature. Sometimes your opponent only has 1 creature and you can't kill anything. Sometimes they just have 2 creatures who are like, both 1/4s and you also can't kill anything. So I'm not liking the looks of that. Maybe red is the color I do not want to be. Where'd Build a Pony go? There we go, Build a Pony. Keep hanging out with me. Attack another creature, draw a card, and create a food token. That might be okay. And these things are okay too. My experience with this format so far has been, even though there's these land cyclers that make you feel like you should cheat on lands, most of my decks, I still want to play 17 land. Because it really feels like this is a format where you don't want to miss your land drops. I guess I could have I should have been counting Protector of Gondor in the white-red deck as well. So this deck, I would like a few more cheap cards. I don't know that there are any on offer, though. Kind of feel like maybe what I should be doing is splashing into this deck. I could, instead of playing these Troll of Khazad Dunes, I could play 2 Generous Ents, an Old Man Willow, and Shire Terrace. I don't think I want to splash any of the other green stuff. So that's certainly one option. I don't have any Oliphants, so splashing for red is less appealing. And also, I don't have any red cards that are actually particularly good to splash. Am I crazy? Is this card actually good? Dragon does have haste. I think I missed that the first time I read the card. So it's like a 1-turn delay for attacking, but it's a 2-turn delay if you're looking to block. The problem with this card is that if you're actually on the defensive, it just really doesn't do anything for you for so long. I think if my other red cards were better, I would be fine with playing this, but red just really doesn't offer very much. I guess if I was red-black, I could play this guy as well. Does red offer me more playable 2-mana cards? I mean, it has more 2-mana cards. They're not very good, though. Basically, white is giving me all these Errand Rider of Gondors, which I'm pretty excited about. Other than that, it's pretty bad. Let's look and see what this would look like if it was red instead. So I'd play this. I guess I could play an Inherited Envelope. I want a little bit more fixing. And maybe I don't play this, and instead I play those. I don't know if this is going to be good in my red-black deck. I could play like one of that. This is one of the more appealing cards in the red deck. It works well with, it works with Mirkwood Bats reasonably well, and it ramps you to the Balrog. Because the treasure kind of counts as 2 mana. this thing more exciting in red-black? I guess. This card might be more acceptable in a red-black deck. Just because as long as I'm willing to play my sequence my removal where I play this first when I draw it, you know, I can kill their second best thing and then claim the precious on their best thing. Just a little bit more palatable. I could do something like that. And maybe honestly cut this thing. Don't have a ton of ways to sack it for value. And I save mana on Lash of the Balrog, that's it. Yeah, I don't think this is a good card in this deck. Play another Quarrel's End. I can play this thing. How many ways do I have to trigger this? I think it might be my only human. This card's obviously fine. A 5/4 that dies into a 2/2. I'm not going to get much other benefit from it. You see, I don't have that many other huge creatures. I guess I have a decent amount of huge creatures, but it doesn't tend to work out like that usually. I think I might just play an Inherited Envelope in this deck. Maybe that doesn't make sense. I already have, I'm kind of getting some fixing and a little bit of mana from the Swarming of Morias anyway. There's no green cards I want. Do I want this thing, just 4/4 trample for 4? It's reasonably likely to be able to block. Have a decent amount of orcs, amass stuff, goblin or two. Yeah, that's probably fine. How many forests should I play? I kind of want to only play one. Play another swamp. Does it make sense to play that many swamps? I'm doing it because of Claim the Precious. Might be better to play more red. What's Arena tell me about? Even red and black split. So I think I'll do it like that. Is it possible I should be looking at blue? These are both pretty good cards. This card probably in a blue build is going to be hard to cast because it's double blue, but it does give me some blue fixing. There's also 2 Saruman the whites. It's not the best Saruman, but it is a reasonable card. And I get an Elrond. These blues cards aren't terrible. I don't know that they're good enough that I want to rethink how I build my deck, though. I think I'm just going to go with this. I'm going to try playing with there and back again. I suspect it's going to be a little bit disappointing, but I'd like to find out. And we've got 2 copies of it, so this is as good of a time as any to find out. In sealed, especially when you're playing best of 3 sealed, which I'm doing, so you don't have the benefit of the hand smoother, choosing to draw isn't an awful choice a lot of the time. Right, so I can't land cycle this one because I only played 1 forest, but I don't really want to go and get a 6th land anyway. Looks like we're going there and back again. I do think white-red is one of the matchups where a lot of times Cast into Fire is pretty good. There's also that white-black uncommon that makes 2/1/1 flyers, which certainly Cast into Fire is good against that. It also hits the green common mana guy, the Wosei Pathfinder, which generally, on turn 2, if you're just trading 1 for 1 with that. Alright, this isn't the stuff that dreams are made of. 2 of my interactive cards, neither one of them really work to do anything. I could get rid of the treasure. I could just get that out of here if I needed to. No blocking with this guy. You'd be forced to attack with him. Ooh. This is a lot of the damages. Sure you want to attack with that? It can't block. Not even bluffing a block. This creature will deal the damage. This creature will do the dying. Hopefully. I'm dead. Wait, what happened? I don't under... What did they target with their improvised club? I think they targeted their Theoden. And they sacked a treasure to do it? Is that what happened? Or they sacked the Theoden to target itself, maybe? Doesn't matter, I died anyway. I think I'm not going to sideboard. I'm generally not a huge fan of sideboarding in Limited. I'm not going to say I never ever do it, but if usually you either have a really obvious card to bring in a matchup, or if you're sideboarding, you just misbuilt your deck. Because it's not like I even know very much. I know my opponent's playing an aggressive white-red deck, and I know 4 of their spells, which... If I had some card in my sideboard that's really good against an aggressive red-white deck, sure, I would bring it in. I don't think I have anything like that. So any sideboarding beyond that, I'm just kind of... Like, I'm sideboarding against they have a 3/3 creature. That doesn't make a ton of sense. See, this is the card that I wanted them to have when I had Cast into Fire. They didn't have it, though. Maybe there and back again will be fast enough this time. I have a functional hand. And I'm playing it on turn 4. Gimli's mad. Very mad at me. Mirkwood Bats is kind of cool with Smog. If the Smog dies, they just take a bazillion. That's kind of good. Maybe I should have played this one instead. I don't know. I kind of like forcing them to interact with the 1/1 Orc army. And then I make a second Orc army. We'll see though. This is certainly, sequencing like this is certainly better if my opponent doesn't do anything meaningful in their turn. Like if they can't kill the Mirkwood Bats, I just get more damage. They could kill the Mirkwood Bats. Turns out. I think Smog is going to be my ring bearer. Are they going to be able to kill it? Am I getting the 14 treasure tokens? It'd be pretty sweet if I did. Definitely are. I did get 14 treasure tokens. It's too bad that bat died, huh? Would have worked out better had I played the Gothmog instead of the bat. Still in okay shape, assuming they can't kill my generous Ent. They can kill my generous Ent. I'm no longer in okay shape. I could go for another generous Ent here. I guess that goes okay. That might have been the wrong one to block. Seems like it's not going to matter, though. I don't have any ways to get the generous Ent back from my graveyard that I know of in my deck, so I'm not going to sack it. I don't think I have any ways to get rid of enchantments either, so I don't know that it really matters whether it's in my graveyard or in play. I guess it's better for it to be in play because I could sack it to Old Man Willow, although I've got these 14 treasure tokens that I could sack to Old Man Willow, so probably not a high priority to keep it around to sack to Old Man Willow. This card yet again looking awful. That was a beating. Red white again. This is more than just red white though. The ring tempts me. I can make it so I have to block. I don't know about how other people feel, but I'm finding it pretty confusing that there's multiple versions of Frodo. And there's multiple versions of the main characters, so like trying to learn the abilities on the card, because all the cards have so many words on them, and there's multiple versions. I'm finding it kind of confusing. Great. I wonder why their deck has so many colors. I think this guy can block. Oh, they're gonna tap and then make it so I can't block. Okay. That's some great use of mana on their part. I do want to spend my mana this turn. I guess I'm just going to kill Frodo. Get 2 extra damage from it. See, here's a different Frodo. Different Frodo. A different Frodo alert. So I do reduce the casting cost of the Balrog by activating Shire Terrace, but not in a way that makes it easier to cast. It makes it harder for them to double block if I make this attack. And we'll just do this. Also, this gets one of their legendaries out of the way, and I know I have enough mana next turn to play the Balrog, so I might be able to just get through for damage there. I'm going to leave my deck the same again, but I was thinking maybe I'm wishing I had played blue. Just to have fewer bad cards. Knew this thing was going to tilt me. Wait, this is... Oh, this is a different one. It's not the one that... It depends on things in your graveyard and you get a scry. That one actually... I can see that. That one is somewhat playable. It allows you to do stuff like play Armwind on turn 2, which... That's pretty good. There's a good draw. The Grey Havens is the bad one. I'll probably play Voracious Felbeast next turn. It is just an edict, so it doesn't really get better the longer you wait. In general. And it gives you a 4/4 flyer, which is nice. We're still on mana short of being able to activate this. Yeah. If you draw a card during an opponent's turn, you get a 1/1. It seems like it's pretty hard to use. I guess it's probably just going to die to the Voracious Fellbeast. Let's see how highly they prize it. It literally, it seems like it's not going to do anything. But maybe they got big plans. Oh, it also... Oh, they're stun counters. That's why they count down. I understand. Still pretty horrendous. Not gonna lie. Still pretty horrendous. Okay. Oh, that's a food. I thought it was a treasure. Yeah, why is this card the way it is? Like, why does it have to be so bad? I'm also not sure that I remember the Watcher in the LotR playing huge. I guess this is the... Is this the thing that... It's the entrance to Moria? Is that what that's supposed to represent? I'm not really sure. That is a terrible card, though. The Watcher in the LotR does make Breaking the Fellowship look like a pretty good card. If your opponent's just going to play a 9/9 that doesn't do anything, Breaking the Fellowship is going to be a strong card for you. Hey, we have the turn 4 there and back again draw again. Oh, this is going to be one of the spots, too, where amassing armies is better than making creatures, because it's giving this Swarming of Moria pseudo-haste. Never mind. Cast into Fire is pretty nice against the Bowmasters. Am I early enough in the game that I should actually just get rid of this? This card is good if it just stays in play. I think I will just get rid of it. It's not an artifact, never mind. I can kill the Bowmaster and the amassed army. I think that's what I'm going to do. Rather than using my treasure to play there and back again, if I draw a land next turn, I can use my treasure to play the Voracious Fellbeast, which, if I use my treasure to play there and back again, the Voracious Fellbeast is not coming out anytime soon. I think the way this game goes the best for me is they play a creature here. It's not a creature that I can effectively Voracious Fellbeast. That's a little disappointing. Do this instead. The actual can't block ability is going to come up. And this way, at least I am pressuring their life total, so they can't go crazy, drawing 5 cards off of Call of the Ring. both don't want that thing to be able to block my 2/2 this turn. I also don't want them getting extra food. I think this is a game where their life total is going to be really relevant. I'm going to loot away this High Crusher. Never mind, we're going to loot away land. Not sure that I'm actually all that likely to cast this card. This game, because I think I'll play the Fell Beast next turn. This is a really good card, this Faramir. Does not mess around. Alright, change of plans. Smog is now the ring bearer. Did I see anything that made me want to sideboard? I want to board in all my cards to kill Faramir, Prince of Ithilien. I already have them all in my deck. Sometimes this thing is better than Evolving Wilds, sometimes it's worse. This is going to be one of those games where it's a lot worse than Evolving Wilds, I think. Because obviously Evolving Wilds I would just go and get a swamp on the first turn. Now it's keeping me from playing my 2-drop, because I think I want to get a swamp now that I drew Mortar and Muster. If I hadn't drawn Mortar and Muster, I would have just played the Flamesmith that turn, but now this gives me like a second shot at getting a land to play on turn 3. So I'm gonna want to make sure I can cast that. I really thought this thing was an artifact. It's an enchantment. Hopefully they don't have the Bowmasters. Oh, they don't even have a creature. That makes this thing a lot less scary. Please don't have the Bowmasters. They would have played the Bowmasters, I think, on the last turn if they had them. So they would have had to... I guess they've seen 3 new cards. They've seen the Scry, which I didn't notice whether they went top or bottom. They have the Bowmasters. That's not good. And we got into that. For people who are wondering. This does not feel like a game I'm going to win. Did draw a land, which is my best possible draw, but... they're still at such a high life total, and they're going to be getting an extra card a turn. And also, they're going to have the ring fully tempted soon, which sometimes this really doesn't do anything, but if you actually get it to the point where you're drawing extra cards and you're getting to loot every turn, and you deal 3 extra damage if the thing is blocked, it's a pretty big deal. The third, like step 3, kind of almost never does anything. It's the weird odd man out. So they don't have an instant speed way to kill this because I'm blocking. Please allow the game to progress, opponent. Opponent is not complying with my desire to block. Alright, I can block, thank you. That wasn't great for me. I know that there was really a way out of it, though. Now I think they're in the tank about playing a land. It has to just be a land that they have in their hand, and like, do I really want to play a land? Yes, you probably want to play a land. I think you probably should play your land. What are my options? I can play this thing, which can't block. I could kill one of their creatures, which doesn't really help me to kill only one of the creatures. I think I'm just playing there and back again. And I guess if I draw... I'm gonna get the free mountain. If I draw a land... they might be in a spot where they have to chump the Balrog. Okay. This one reads better than a lot of the sagas, but it still seems kind of bad. Didn't draw a land. I didn't want to play my Claim the Precious into them being able to flash in Samwise the Stout-Hearted. So I might not be able to play the Balrog next turn either. But my Orc army is probably going to be able to block. I guess I can move the ring over the ring bearer over the Bowmasters. I can play my Balrog next turn guaranteed, because if I want, I can lash my sack the Smog to lash something. And then I'll have all these treasures to work with. Does this give him double strike next turn? It does. And step 4, the ring bearing works with double strike, so I'm on the hook for a lot of damage next turn, potentially. Oh no! I needed that. So they're going to use Samwise the Stout-Hearted to get back the Bowmasters, but I die if I don't kill the Bowmasters. Oh, if I play Swarming at Moria, though, I also die. They just have to ring tempt one of these guys. I could lash one of them. This game's doomed. What I needed to do that last game was I needed to keep the swamp. And then I could lash away the army, but then I have to discard the Balrog, so I'm not going to win the next turn. I don't think there was a way out that game. This is like a section of my deck I haven't seen yet. No more mountains, please. We're doing good on the mountains. I was kind of hoping they would block there. It's not necessarily bad for me that they didn't. I'm worried that they have Samwise the Stout-Hearted now. Like, if they leave their mana untapped, I'm not attacking. Peregrine Took. I can attack into Peregrine Took. This is the way this guy works. Now what are they up to? So this, they get food and then they get an extra food. I think I want to kill Samwise Gamgee. Time to die, Samwise Gamgee. If they have Samwise the Stouted, Samwise the Stout-Hearted. They do. That's unfortunate. This is an okay draw here. Balrog's been pretty disappointing. I don't think I've drawn it with Swarming of Moria at any point, which has certainly made it a lot worse. We're just playing full price. Full price on the Balrog. They are in a spot where they're going to have to... I guess it's not double chump, because they're going to chump this and they're going to double block, and I'm going to kill Peregrine Took. They're going to take 3 in the air. They could have You Shall Not Pass. It would be pretty cool if they have You Shall Not Pass and they use it to kill the Balrog. I'd be in favor of that, although I think that would also cause the Balrog's dice trigger to happen, which would be fine. Wonder how many games of this set I'm going to have to play before it happens that I attack with the Balrog, they block with the Gandalf, they play You Shall Not Pass to kill the Balrog, and then on the way out the Balrog kills Gandalf. Somebody has to have a clip of that happening by now, right? In no way does that save you or help you. You just make it so they take even more trample damage. Got a food? Oh, I think... Oh, okay. That is actually sort of working, so... They didn't realize they're still taking trample. Oh no! I drew my forest and both of my generous ents. That's not how it's supposed to go. Need to make sure I don't accidentally cycle them. The theory behind only playing one forest is that usually once you've got your forest, you're not going to want to land cycle them. This hand maybe disproves that. I would certainly like to convert one of these into a land, given my hand. I guess I'm blocking. I have not been very impressed by this card. You just want to have your card be tapped? Okay. Come on, swamp off the top. Given what my hand is, I don't think if I don't draw a swamp next turn, I should really play the Dunland Cerebane off the treasure. I think I'm going to want to use the treasure to play a generous ant, or potentially claim the precious if they play a larger creature. Yeah, this is a pretty awkward hand. Good news is that these things are pretty good at stalling the game out if they live. Come on, generous ant, live. We could play Swarming Moria and the Crabane this turn. That'd give me a 4/4, a 1/1. Yeah, that seems okay. I might have to Quarrels into way to claim the precious next turn. Ideally, I draw a swamp next turn and I just play the generous ant. Not a swamp, but I'm still just going to play a generous ant. I don't think I'm interested in attacking. Definitely not with the generous ant, because they can just double block it. Also, I think not with the Orc army right now. Kind of painful to do, but I'm so far away from being able to cast that. I'm going to cash in, well, I can only cash in one of these foods, but I'm going to cash it in. I don't think I'm going to need like 7 turns from now to have a food lying around to sack to. It's my boy, Moria Marauder. It's pretty good. So they've got a goblin and an orc. And this thing is a Drake Beast. Just to start dealing a little bit of damage. Goodbye, old man Willow. They might be playing into the whole Smog Mirkwood Bats combo, though. They're leaving with the bats. As long as I've got the bats in play, they can't kill the Smog. I should probably attack with the Fired Leaper, just to have it die. Hit the Mirkwood Bats. One of the generous ents. I'm not sure why this thing attacked. There. Interesting. Plenty of swamps left in my deck. I know that. Guess there's no reason to kill the Moria Marauder and the Flamesmith right away. I could prevent them from potentially dealing a point of damage with the Flamesmith, but I'm at a high enough life total, I don't really care about that. It's been a strange game. I guess they just want to have the ring tempt the Moria Marauder. That's the plan here. Oh, it's going to tempt the Fell Beast. Nice. So probably I just win, right? I'm going to attack first, and then I'm going to sack the Smog to lash at the Balrog to kill the Fell Beast. And the Mirkwood Bats should finish them off. They could have had, if they had an instant speed way to kill the Mirkwood Bats, this would have gone pretty wrong, but I think they pretty obviously didn't have something like that in their hand. Oh, I can forest cycle the Generous Ent. I'm so used to seeing it in my hand and not having a forest in my deck. Let's do it. Let's get this forest. glad they didn't have that in their hand at the end of the last game. Mordor Mustard. It's a good chance next turn I'm going to want to claim with Precious the Snarling Varg and play the Ember Flamesmith. Certainly not worth doing on my turn, on like my turn 4 though. Not spend my mana as efficiently. Oh, they broke the Fellowship. Killed the Mordor Mustard. I want to do it this turn. Just play 2 cards. Supposed to play the bats. I think I want to play 2 cards this turn. I will also have the option of playing 2 cards next turn this way if Cast into the Fire is something I want to play. I'm never really sure how to choose who should be the Ring Bearer. It seems very unlikely to matter. I'm willing to block. I like that. I'm really glad they didn't block. I'm going to cast into the fire the Mordor Mustard. Or am I? Yeah. Then if they don't draw something next turn, I'm going to get a good creature with the Fell Beast. They draw that. That's pretty good. Please attack me with both bats and then sack one. Guess I'll keep the swamp in my hand in case I get to level 2 of the ring. Loot it away. I don't think I need to crack this food right away to gain 3 and deal them 1. There and Back Again seems pretty good against my opponent's deck, because their deck doesn't seem that fast. The problem with There and Back Again is definitely just that it's kind of slow. Oh no. Let's make an unblockable Voracious Fell Beast. No. Don't like that all that much. Alright. I was smart to keep my swamp. Wasn't so smart about how I tapped my mana though. I should have left double black untapped in case I drew my other copy of Claim the Fellowship so I could kill this thing. Even though I would like to be able to kill this Fell Beast that's unblockable, I think I have to start by killing the Sirith Ungol Patrol. I don't want to give them the value off of fizzling the Claim the Fellowship and drawing a card and getting a food. That seems like something they should keep in their hand to see if they want to loot it away. I guess they can always just sack it to the Sirith Ungol Patrol. It's fine, I suppose. I could play this on the Moria Marauder and then attack with the Generous Scent, and it would trade with the patrol. I decided not to do that because I wanted to instead see if maybe I was actually going to discard that. Now I'll put it on the... I'll put it on this Voracious Fell Beast, because I think that they're going to sack the Moria Marauder. And I can change my Ring Bearer to this guy. They didn't sack the Moria Marauder, interesting. Even though their life total's starting to get low, you gotta remember that they can produce a food every turn, basically. Is the Balrog finally going to do something? They can block it with the Voracious Fell Beast. That is the Ring Bearer. Can Smog destroy your own creatures? Destroy an artifact or creature an opponent controls? It cannot. So I can't use it to kill Smog to kill them with the Mirkwood Bats again. Oh, Grim Lancer. That doesn't really help their cause. This is a food. Why does the food look like it's... Oh, it's a spider food. I was like, why does it look like a mummy? It's because it's food for a spider. Do have a point of damage from the treasure right now. Morgul knife. I'm not going to sack that. I'm just going to take the 3. Maybe I'm going to sack it, given that they attacked with the Fell Beast. They're not going to be able to block this thing, right? Yeah, they're dead. So let's... They go up to 11. Maybe they're not good. Would I have been in trouble if I'd just drawn a land? Nope. I don't know if that would have been in trouble, but I wouldn't have killed them. Just trying to prove your worth, breaking of the Fellowship. Your worth is not very high. Surely you'll be able to at least kill a Squire of the King at some point. But not this turn. That island looks crazy. Also, I would like to draw a red land, please. This thing will cut the mustard. Okay, that's a trade I don't mind. Pippin is a good card. I think I can probably afford to just sort of race the Pippin. It's going to be impossible to use Breaking of the Fellowship with Pippin in play. I don't even know exactly how it works, but it's got to be impossible, right? At some point, I'm going to have to claim the Precious to Pippin. Probably. I mean, maybe their hand is just so bad that they can't just beat me playing creatures and attacking with it. But before I can start really targeting their stuff, the first step is claim the Precious on the Pippin. Is that the step that we're taking this turn? So they can give the Esquire pro creature. I think I'm fine. I'm going to spend the mana on doing that. Oh, it doesn't even cost mana to do that? Wow. Didn't realize that. Second breakfast. Okay. But they've left themselves exposed. Alright. Tough, tough, and not fair. Please give me back my crusher. I have some crushing I'd like to be doing. I'm gonna go get a forest with this thing on turn 1. I'm probably gonna want to convert this into my second mountain at some point to make sure I can cast there and back again. Also, this is giving me my 5th land, which having your 5th land at the start of the game is pretty nice. It's giving me some luxury. All of a sudden I have more lands than I wanted. I also have a lot of copies of There and Back again. It could be good, actually. Guess I'll just go get a swamp. Should leave mountains in my deck to go and find with There and Back again. I know that really it's very likely to matter, but I don't need triple red. I also don't need triple black. Good thing we haven't done anything, because my hand is not very good at opposing people who do things. Alright. I'm gonna have the ring start tempting me, so I'm gonna be able to loot some of these lands away. Not this turn, but assuming that they do something on their turn that leads to me being able to break the fellowship. Like that. So I could play my second copy of There and Back again. I don't know that... that leads to me legend ruling the Smogs. But it does have the advantage that I can make this human soldier not able to block. Which I'm kind of in the market for. Let's see what happens if I do this. I want this not to be able to block so that they can't just trade with my Ring Bearer. I didn't want to just play the Voracious Fellbeast that turn because I think it's called Glorious Gale. The Essence Scatter is a pretty heavily played card, and I had the mana untapped to do that. And that would have been the first time that I actually cast a creature into their untapped mana that game. They've played this game like they have situational counters they can't use, basically. So I didn't really want to play into it that time. I am making it so that it's easier for them to deal with Smog. It's going to Legend Rule. Probably should have played this pre-combat. Here's the Glorious Gale. Not surprising. Okay, let's see. Oh. I'm gonna get to cast my whole hand this turn. Thanks to the 14 treasures that Smog has given me. This will be useful next turn. It's a way to re-tempt, or re-tempt by the ring. Probably shouldn't play any more cards, assuming that they don't do anything to change how this combat plays out. Alright, they are changing how combat plays out, but only a little bit. I have 10 power in flyers right now. Yeah, I'm not playing. There's that 3 mana Wrath that I lost in the first round. I'm not playing into that. Alright, Shire Sharif. It's pretty good against my backup Smog. We'll play Generous Ent now. Oh, it's a different food. I see. Alright, I know this video has been a little bit long, but for those of you who have stuck around, let's do a little post-mortem. There and Back Again played a little bit better than I was expecting. There was only one match where it was really too slow, and that in part was just because my hands were kind of clunky. I think probably I picked the right colors to play. Breaking of the Fellowship was pretty bad, but I don't know that I had a better option. Same thing with Cast Into the Fire. All my other stuff I was reasonably happy with. I think that the green splash was good. I think that was actively good. Generous Ent was good in a lot of games. And I think I just didn't draw Old Man Willow all that often. I think it mostly died the turn I played it. And it's certainly a good card. I wonder if there was a better card to play over one of those two. Could have played this thing. I'm not wild about this card. It might have been better than Breaking of the Fellowship, though. My one opponent played this card against me, and it was pretty good. It wouldn't have been horrible to have this in my deck, although I was concerned that my curve was a little bit... It would have made my curve too high. Because I'm playing 2 5s, a 7, and a 6. And then these, I want to cast these as 6s, even though they can go find lands. The Balrog was actually kind of disappointing in the games where I drew it. I never drew it with where I could play turn 3 Swarming of Moria, then turn 4 do something, and turn 5 play the Balrog, you know, because you sack the treasure, cuts the casting cost down to 6, and they've got 5 lands and the mana from the treasure. That never played out that way, which was, I thought, going to be one of the stronger draws my deck could get. I guess there's also this random Quarrel's End I put in my deck. I almost always like this effect in Limited, you know, discard a card, draw 2. This is a pretty bad version of it, just because it's so much worse at 3 mana than at 2 mana, and it wasn't like my deck was benefiting from the 1/1 in any meaningful way. Certainly wouldn't want to play another copy of it. Should I have played this thing? Doesn't seem possible. You can copy your opponent's stuff, so maybe that makes it better. Still seems like a pretty bad card. It's so situational. Some other expensive cards, some green cards. Maybe there was a world where I was supposed to have blue in my deck in addition to these colors. I kind of think no, just because there really aren't very good splashable blue cards. Like, this thing is pretty good, but not so good I want to splash it. Same thing with this thing. This thing's pretty good, but not so good I'm going to be excited about splashing it. It's possible the deck would have been better as black-blue splash green and just give up on there and back again and just kind of swap Saruman for there and back again, which is a downgrade. You lose the Balrog, which I'm not convinced that that's that big of a loss. I think I do wind up with better 2-mana cards with these 3 Nimrodels. I guess I need to get enough scrying into my deck, so maybe not. I don't know. That's enough for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.